Or unanimous here.
Unanimous. That Alliance, their bull rush is going to be enough to run over Fnatic. We'll have to see if that's going to be the case or not. We'll throw it over to our casters now for game number 1 of day 3 action. It's Toby Wan and Merlini.
Thanks a lot, Dakota. Yes, it is time. Alliance TI winners before, but does that really count for that much? Fnatic going up against them. It's a whole new TI. Anyone could be a winner here, Merlini.
Oh, you're blessed to be here, Drow Ranger, yet again.
Yeah, and
I think she's gonna win.
It's my dream as well. It's a big team fight. You bring in a Ravage, you bring in the jump of a Storm Spirit, a 5th pick Elder Titan as well. The panel forgot about him. It looks like Alliance didn't.
I thought that Fnatic were actually going to pick it up once they saw the Drow Ranger, but let's see if they correct their mistakes with their Drow strat against Ehome. Let's make sure they analyze that.
And we will find out. We will find out. We're going to go straight to our game and begin game number 1 of this full best of 3. Alliance and Fnatic, one of these teams today will not progress. We are over for them. We've already eliminated enough teams from TI6. Another one will drop today as Alliance. Okay, how do you actually feel about this laning phase? I know the panel was talking about having a Baden Tide teaming up with a Tide Hunter for that off lane. How's the ET meant to slip in now? Is he a roaming support to help out mid and bottom? Or should he actually go and join Admiral Bulldog on top?
I think they realized that Fnatic's safe lanes are really weak. They don't have to do a lane up there. They don't need the Dazzle up there. They don't need the Abba. And this way they can put EGM on a roamer. I think that's where you're really scared of Fnatic. Like if you lose a lane and then Alliance start grouping up, taking your tawns, there's very little room for comeback with the lineup that they have.
So danger zone for them. Pretty much what you're saying right now.
Yeah, they need to make sure they win the lanes really hard, try and get level 6 ASAP on Bounty Hunter and Sardar, make sure the Storm's good. I do favor Alliance's draft here. It's much easier to execute and doesn't really require that much to outplay Fnatic in the team fight. They have the Tide Hunter Ravage, and Fnatic, what do they have in the way of team fight? Maybe a little bit from Shadow Demon, maybe a little bit of Cleave from Sven, but those are all very minor AoE spells relative to Alliance's.
But at least got the option to jump on the Drow Ranger on the back line. That's the advantage of Storm Spirit. He can go wherever the hell he wants. 3-4-3 as well. Potentially can jump around the back lines with track vision. Fnatic could just make better decisions during the team fight. But you are right, Alliance is pretty much a stand, seal, and deliver against Fnatic. And Fnatic will have to play very, very good Dota in order to stay on top of Alliance.
They need the Storm to get a lot of farm. If the Storm gets Orchid early, like Bloodstone Orchid, then they can actually deal with the Dazzle. But right now, if they jump to Drow Ranger, Dazzle's just going to be there in the back. Elder Titan's can stomp too. You don't even need a Ravage to save the Drow Ranger. But once the Orchid comes out, then they can actually just punish the Dazzle really quickly.
There's a big advantage for mid one, the fact that like he shouldn't die to S4. There's no rotating supports that are really going to be a nuisance, unlike S4 who has to deal with 3-4-3. Early on, the Venom forces a leap out of S4, you know, he'll have to go back.
We always say shouldn't, but remember yesterday with Ember and Huskar?
Yeah, there's a lot of like coulda, shoulda, would. Kohai gets harassed a little bit on bottom lane. 3-4-3 still hovering around that mid, trying to keep S4 back away from the CS. And looks like finally EGM, yeah, it was only a matter of time before he'll come.
Bulldog has 5 stacks on them. That one's good.
Very careful of DJ. DJ also takes a lot of damage to do that. EGM comes to the middle lane. They planned on a Sentry Wars, now they at least have Vision, the Bounty Hunter. I was kind of surprised that EGM also arrived with early Dust on that Elder Titan. But they really want to try and find the kill. Ohio, that's a little off. Try to crush on Loader. Gotta be really careful when he does that too, because he has Sprint turned on. A little bit of extra damage.
Console curse Toby. That's all. Admiral Bulldog gonna get a win of the backstroke.
Admiral Bulldog is just going to try and bait them in. You think you got him, and then all of a sudden it's a turnaround. Ohio actually playing some more classic Jimmy spots, as he'll have to sprint, level 1 sprint himself away. There's still no good control coming out from Alliance. Until Lotus got Gust or Cold Arrows, Ohio's going to be free to do what he wants, especially with EGM. Like EGM went for Echo Stomp early on, but without the Spirit, the Slaughter should always be able to get away.
Slow laning phase, I think, is better off for Alliance. Just need to get as many levels as they can on the draw.
Kind of what we expected at the start. Very, very passive laning. No one wants to go anywhere too hard. 3-4-3 being kept down the levels until he leeches it from the lanes he goes to.
They're having a lot of trouble pulling on bottom, though. They have that large camp blocked out by the Sentry Ward, and then you have the additional illusions called Control the Wave. And Loda's only like level 2 right now, which is not really where you want to be on the Drow Ranger.
3-4-3. Managed to get vision superiority again in mid lane. Able to get rid of that Radiant Sentry Ward so he can attack it at S4. But at the same time that happens, EGM moves over to the mid lane. So making sure that Mirana is still able to find some level of high CS.
Bottles on the way, but no additional sentries for S4. If you're a bounty hunter right now, what's your mentality? Which lane are you going to go to? Which one looks most vulnerable to you? Tidehunter, pretty difficult, especially if he has 6 charges. He has 0 at the moment. Mid lane, he has Leap. Maybe once Storm gets 6 or Storm gets a kill rune. Bottom lane, also not that easy, but it might be your best choice if you see one of the supports like out pretty far pulling. 3-4-3 going in, but
that's a flying courier with movement speed boost. That's not going to go anywhere apart from mid lane. We got the Starfall from S4, early level 2. Arrow still available, going to fly it out. The Storm Spirit brought down. Alliance was still first blood. For all the harassment the Bounty Hunter was offering, it just took a good combination from EGM and S4 to bring down the Storm.
Early level Stomp was really hard to dodge, especially when you do not have boots yet on the Storm Spirit. But it was really important that he picked up level
3-4-3. He gets the courier. Had a decent amount on it too. It was the boots and the bottle of S4. Be a little bit annoyed about that.
They were very careful about making it fly over the tree line earlier. Maybe you should have suspected it because no one showed up to help out the Storm Spirit in the early first blood.
S4, you should be really careful. You're walking in range of a Sentry Ward. There's no Vortex available from mid one. Couple of chips into the Mirana.
Out of my way!
Wonder if S4 is just going to have to hook it home and let all the Titans take experience. There's no way you can say like without
EGM get a perfect. There's no mana on S4. And 3-4-3's coming in. The Shuriken toss. Not enough damage. The Fairy Fire keeping S4 alive. Are really trying to push the issue against mid one and almost lost their mid-core alliance.
Alliance are in a really good spot now. Now that bottom lane, that sentry is gone, so now they can use that pull it up, pick up a Quelling Blade too. He can even jungle. I think early on he picks up a mask, but now they've gotten XP on their 2 support, one by pulling, one by getting first blood. The bottle's a setback, but as long as someone's getting XP in middle, like EGM will be taking that, then they're okay.
Waiting for the stacks to arrive for Fnatic. Like, you're running a Sven, and right now I'm only seeing like 1 stack inside the Dire jungle. There's nothing stacked on the Ancients. You could be a little bit concerned that Admiral Bulldog could just slip over and try and take it. Ohio, he should be okay in the tree lines. RK, nice crush from Ohio. Just keeps RK away.
Back that stacks. Yeah, it would help them out a lot if the Bounty Hunter were able to stack a little bit, but I think they're looking to pressure more in the lanes. Like, if they lose their T1, that might be a really good potential for Alliance to smoking there. They did it yesterday versus eHome in this exact same situation where Fnatic were on Dire with the Sven, so they don't have that high ground ward, so maybe not too comfortable as to when the perfect time is, but their supports have been preoccupied, more than
Jay with nice zoning out the top rune, allows mid one to pick up double damage. So Storm Spirit with kill potential, Admiral Bulldog, DJ can disrupt, goes for the capture as well. And mid one, he wants to jump forward if he wants to go for Bulldog. No level 6 on Tidehunter, so there is no Ravage available. It won't matter the poison. It isn't going to be enough. There's only 1 stack in it, but it will be. TJ bring down Admiral Bulldog. It was only 1 stack, but it was 3 levels in that Shadow Poison.
Wow, it's level 5 already. Mid one didn't even have to expend all his mana over there. He didn't really have to go in that deep. Nice stomp coming out from EGM to try and save his ally.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They're doing well.
Yeah.
Dire's structures
looking
are
good for them.
fortified.
He's still getting some good levels
Radiant
and farm onto
structures are
Alliance. Like
fortified.
Loda has managed to crack a level 6. You can see him going for that early Dragon Lance. He's in really good range to beat down some of these towers, and that's required for Alliance. If Alliance is going to group up as 5, he's someone with a range to actually force a reaction out from Fnatic, and the best way to do that, start taking away the buildings.
Start taking down the wards. 3-4-3 just dewarded the mid Observer Ward on Alliance, and now they're flying blind. No Observer Ward down on the map right now, and they still need some time for their lineup.
Dire's
Push the lane to the tower. Loda
attack.
triggers his aura. They really want this tier 1 tower down the bottom, and Ohio's in no position to fight. So this is a very easy, simple tier 1 tower for Alliance. It's to be expected when you run it for a Ranger lineup with just not playing Sparta.
And HOD creep already coming out. See the small Satyr Banisher, pull the Ancient Black Dragon, but T1's at critical HP, so this
Dire's
is no
bottom
longer
tower is under
that safe
attack.
of a place for her.
Is this when,
Dire's
is this when
bottom
343
tower
actually
has
has like
fallen.
defensive ward, like on the cliff side next to Roshan?
Even so, you still have a hard time defending. Like most teams will smoke up there, so the Observer Ward only offers you so much protection. You need heroes out there to get out there.
Oh, one, he jumps in, over here now. Actually takes the regeneration rune from under the nose of the best 4 and Bulldog.
Really important runes for Storm. He needs the haste, he needs the DD, the regen, like all these are really good. Illusion, bounty, fairly useless to him.
S4 also wants just the bottle charges. Can't get that. There's still a rune down on bottom lane. But they'll see RK making a play for it. But while that's happening, Ohio sprinting forward. 343 is going to get close in on Loader. So if he wants to slow him down, he can do so. Ohio's going to get scouted out.
I like the early range build. They probably say like, man, this guy's 1100 HP. How do we kill him? Especially without ammo. 343's
The damage with the Storm GTM brings it in Ohio. He tries to follow it. Now he's caught the Storm Spirit. Regeneration rune active. The shallow trade will keep EGM alive. And they're going to losing too, but in comes Storm once again. But he doesn't have the regeneration rune. There's no mana left. Only 8-1 charges and a couple of bottle charges. That's not instant mana. GM will TP out safely.
Radiant's
And a
top
good
tower
little
is
skirmish
under
there for
attack.
Alliance.
And probably the two heroes that you least want to lose at this point, like Storm, a pretty big deal. But you need these two heroes to get level 6. They're severely lacking on damage. And how are they going to get bounty hunter kills, track kills without anything of the sort? And we already see a smoke mover for the age. I see 2 orbs on Aki. Where
Radiant's
is
top
he going
tower
to place
is under
them?
attack.
One to watch the Ancients. And the rest of the maneuver is to look towards that
Dire's
mid-tier
middle tower
1. But
is
while that
under
happens,
attack.
Mushi takes out the tier 1 tower on top lane.
Dire's
343
structures are
starts to
fortified.
actually sits right on top of the Radiant Observer Ward. So Alliance are well aware he's there, and okay, 343. Just wondering if they could see him too. He wards the ops, but it's an easy tier 1 tower.
Dire's middle tower has
This
fallen.
stack is going to be
The hold.
very hard to hold. And
He's still
Radiant's
stacking it.
top tower
yeah, Alliance
is
can
under
easily
attack.
do it with the Tidehunter.
Dire's middle tower
He doesn't have a
is
level
under
4 ankle
attack.
smash, so it won't be that fast, but they can still do it.
Fnatic's coming down. They want to take care of this stack if possible. You got the 4 levels up in cleave for Mushi, so he's ready to go down and do it.
You want to fight into Ravage though? Alliance can easily swing over Admiral Bulldog, but Fnatic are going to have to commit multiple heroes to take down the stacks.
Radiant's
no Echo
bottom
Saber on
tower
Sven.
is
It's not
under
going to be
attack.
fast at all.
And right now, Alliance is going to force him to fight the Ravage Men of Blood. Like they're just walking down the lanes, attacking a tower. Either Fnatic keep trying to side lane push, but that's only going to work for so long. Can they last long enough to get that Orchid onto the Storm Spirit? To get whatever, like, the Blink Dagger for Mushi next?
They need the track though. 343 just used a tome, but he's 30 XP shy of level 6. Leeching some from Sanction Stella. There they go with Mushi. Alliance nowhere in sight to defend this. With that Ob Sword dewarded by 343.
Mushi, you're really low, man. He should be able to survive through the Black Dragons, but only barely. Calculated. Will now have enough money to buy that Blink Dagger, if that is his wish.
Dota probably senses out that they're
Dire's
ganking
top
him. Doesn't
tower
even
is
want to be
under
to the
attack.
left side. That is the most common gank spot.
Alliance are coming over. Their 4-mana smoke maneuvering. Storm Spirit puts down the remnants just because Loader came in close.
But he's in full
Dire's
defensive
top
mode.
tower is under attack.
Strength Treads and Dragon Lance. It's going to take them a while to kill him. Buying more time for that Grave to come out in the market.
There's jump time. Well, Ohio already using his Crush to farm. And then sprints away. Alliance too far out. Obviously no Blink Dagger on that Tidehunter just yet. It's more of a mech build. Coming in, the survivability, the 5-man maneuver Alliance lineup. And Fnatic have dodged them. The smoke maneuver from Alliance will probably still end at the tier 2 tower in the bot lane dropping. But Mushi, straight back to the farm. They wait for the right time to fight.
He's back to farming, but it's also picked up
Dire's
item.
bottom
Sven's
tower
actually
is
gone
under
for the
attack.
Blink Dagger. Normally at this juncture we see Echo Saber Armlet, so with the Blink Dagger pickup, he definitely wants to fight. They need to be able to kill Dazzle.
Radiant's
He
middle
can't
tower
TP
is
though, he
under
just
attack.
TP'd up to the top lane.
Dire's structures
So this
are
fight can only be
fortified.
held back by Shadow Poison pretty much. That's their only level of, that's their only D push. the mid one. He's actually wrapping
Dire's
around the
bottom
rear,
tower is under
farming up the
attack.
camps right next to Alliance's push. The Slaughter is forcing the mid lane by crushing and pushing to the tier
Radiant's
1.
middle tower is
They
under
really need
attack.
more tower damage in their other lanes. Mushi and Ohio have really been hitting the towers. Mushi's actually farming up the Radiant Ancients in the
Dire's
meantime.
bottom
Tier 2
tower
tower's
has
gone.
fallen.
DJ slammed up by the
Radiant's
stomp.
middle tower
And while he
is
does have
under
an
attack.
defensive disruption, won't come down in time. As 4 with an easy starfall finds the pick.
They don't even get the mid on tower. Mushi was just, oh.
Even in death, Shadow Demon can still cause a problem. I still love a good one. He's just waiting.
Radiant's top
Arcane will walk
tower
around the corner here. Ohio's in the neighborhood. Arcane's gonna get picked. Alliance not moving out of the squad. They didn't really think anyone was behind, even though mid one was creep skipping previously. But even though they didn't take down the mid tier 1 tower, Ben is still by far the top net worth on the field. Mid 1 is getting a lot of farm from
Radiant's
jungle
bottom
camps.
tower is under
And now they have
attack.
to Moonlight Shadow to protect Admiral Bulldog underneath his own tier 1 tower.
I think they're overcompensating for yesterday. Yesterday they didn't group up, they split up and farm too much and they got picked off. And this game, they look at Fnatic's lineup, they look at their mistakes from yesterday, it's like, okay, we need to group up, we need to push, but they're not really
Radiant's top
balancing
tower
out
is
the
under
farm and
attack.
pushing that much. They're behind the net worth by a fair margin, despite there only being 7 kills in this game. And normally you'd be like, oh, well, Bounty Hunter's not really getting value out of it, but the other heroes are getting a ton of it, mostly the spend, and he is still ready to fight.
It's the XP graph, man. That's a big one. Like a 6.5 grand going to play a Fnatic for that. Mushi right now, the Blink Dagger is a great fighting item, but it also is just making him progress from camp to camp inside the jungle.
I think they need to make them keep guessing where the Tidehunder is. As long as Tidehunder is showing, they know when and where to fight. Like I think they show the Drow Ranger pushing out the lane, and then is Tidehunder behind them? They don't know. Sometimes they have to let the Drow just solo farm. Sometimes they might have to overcommit and get baited out. They need to put them in that position. Ravage
Double down on bottom. Yeah, bottom lane. They're going in. Ohio gusted back. I'll find the kill of the Slaughter. This one was already ball lighting himself away. He's going to keep all the way back home. So you commit your Ravage, you bring
Radiant's
down the
middle
Slaughter,
tower is under
and you
attack.
bring a lot of players down the bottom lane, but again, Fnatic, they're pushing in the top lane, they're dodging
Radiant
Alliance
structures
every
are
turn.
fortified.
S4 needs its arrow, DJ
Radiant's top
sidesteps it
tower
out.
is under attack.
EGM with no spirit does have his stomp pump, but DJ turns, purges, there's no one really attacking EGM apart from all the illusions of himself, and DJ even dodges the attack. The poison not enough to get the kill on the Elder Titan. All up on top, Mushi trying to just finish off this tower. The anchor smash
Radiant's
causing some
top
problems,
tower
but Mushi
has
still
fallen.
able to complete the job. And that's a tier 2 tower going the way of Fnatic.
Alliance are just losing structures left and right. Too many to the way of Fnatic at this moment. And it doesn't really matter if Alliance have warded up the Dire Angels because Mushi can just farm up the Radiant.
He really doesn't care that much, does he? As long as he can find the money. And it's Alliance 5-man ball just being denied, pretty much.
He looks like an alchemist on a net org chart. How far ahead he is of everyone else.
He's even going, like, for all the farming that Mushi's done, like, it's been 0 kills, 0 deaths, 0 assists, involved in absolutely nothing. Obviously, Fnatic's only got 3 kills in this 16-minute game so far, but then he builds an S and Y, another early combat item. But once that's up, the Orchid should also be pretty much near completion for mid 1.
I like the Orchid Rush as opposed to the Bloodstone. Most of the Stone 2 will get Bloodstone first, but I think with this sort of game, you need to control the Dazzle in the fight so that the Drow...
Radiant's middle tower
It's also
is
pretty
under
good for
attack.
the Tidehunter if you can actually
Dire's
coordinate,
top
make sure
tower
that you
is
focus.
under
But again,
attack.
Alliance are grouping up. There's so many heroes in the top lane of Fnatic are like, okay, well, we'll just do Roshan. We have amplified damage. They have to respect the Storm Through one of the best Aegis carries in
Dire's
this game.
top tower
And
is
Alliance
falling.
is just going to have to hand it over.
Yep, it's the oldest classic trade in the book. Roshan for a Dire tier 1 tower. As S4, well, he's coming over, throws the arrow, it's going to come into the pit. Roshan's low, and it is killed by the Dire. The arrow will connect on Mushi.
That was way too close. I think one of the heroes is like, okay, I'm just going to take it. They saw it coming.
Jump in front of Roshan. Yeah, well, S4 threw it out right next to a Fnatic hero. So now Fnatic
Radiant's
is
bottom
Storm's
tower
Aegis
is under
Immortal.
attack.
Got a free jump in initiation with a second life.
Yeah, like, normally you want Bloodstone so you don't die in the fights and that barrier of HP, and if you survive, you get Bloodstone charges, but with the Aegis, they can just suicide for the Dazzle and I think just easily mop them up for a 4-on-1 or 5-on-1 trade.
So does Alliance just get involved now? Is that the play? Wait out the Aegis Immortal, or can they still 5-man maneuver? The Ravage is back up. They do have the mech on Bulldog. They have the. Are they stronger?
The more important thing, I think, is the Ags on the Murana that just came online. So with this, I think this is their timing. I think their line was built to fight. They can farm, but as I believe Winter mentioned earlier, it's like Bulldog, he's on Tidehunter this game. Not on a Lone Druid, he's not on a Bristleback, he's not on something that scales particularly well. He's 1-1-1, and they've been looking to fight all game, but keeps going at this rate. Fnatic's going to easily outscale them. They're just going to be able to mow them down with this overfarmed Sven, who can just get a BKB and just run it. With that, when he has that amount of farm, there's nothing that you can do. He's going to have like 30 plus armor. He's going to be affected by Ravage.
So instead, they just have to group up and go.
They have to do something.
Oh, 3-4-3, the dust will come out. BGM finding him, trying to go straight to the stomp. That will put the bounty hunter to sleep. And a follow-up cold arrows. Now the Titan will find the last punch. So no bounty hunter for the fight. They won't have track available.
Bounty Hunter, or sorry, Sven's already on the bottom lane, blinking past waves. He already took down the T1, and only now did they start to T2.
Just a little bit to the south, Ohio waiting in the tree line, right next to S4 as well as Admiral Bulldog.
He's waiting for someone to TP. Bushi pop Godspring. They want Alliance to TP out.
That's not happening yet. Okay, now it is. The Dazzler on the hillside is Arcade, who's the first one to leave. S4's on the run. Already stacked up with 2 poisons. The crush onto Admiral Bulldog. Big one coming in close. Orchid is available for him. He split up. Fnatic easily dodging it.
And free T2 tower from Bushi. Just put Alliance on a really hard spot. If they TP out with like a Tidehunter, they're just going to jump them without Ravage. And if they don't TP back strong enough, then Bushi just takes the free tower and likely even gets the kill. It's a weak support. So they're just forcing Alliance into these inopportune trades and situations. They hardly have to decide. DJ's like keeping the Tidehunter in check, so they can't back out cleanly. And now even Ohio and Bushi might even sweep in from behind if they're not careful. And Alliance can't even team fight it.
Oh, they have to back up. That's a huge creep wave up on top. There's the threatening Mushi on bottom. Fnatic are just playing like really smart and very elusive Dota against Alliance.
On top of that, looks like Mushi is finally going to go for a BKB. If they find it up, 20 minutes.
Lane to jump in. It was already set up with 3-4-3 coming in close. Gets the initial slow from Janata. Now with no throw ranger, Pin takes out another tower. 20 minutes in, farming up Radiant Ancients. There's only one remaining out of tower, 20 minutes in for Alliance. And they're the team with the throw ranger. They're the team with a line enforcement to 5-man force Fnatic into bad team fights. And that just hasn't worked.
This is going to be really bad. Sven, just 1 minute, he's going to have his BKB, and then they can just jump him without really any fear in the world. Or just wait until next road, or they can split push and farm. Like, there's so many different options available for Fnatic right now. And Alliance are...
They have one key item to the right. They have a Blink Dagger on the Ravage, so technically now Admiral Bulldog will be a lot harder for DJ to keep in check. They need vision of Bulldog, however. Right now they got track over on Arcade. They do see him quite easily.
Do they want to fight right now, though? There's still about half a minute left.
Fnatic knows. Like, you finish the BKB. Like, you don't go high ground without your BKB.
Well, and you have way better wards on the Fnatic side right now. Really deep wards. Whereas Alliance have one near the top, one kind of in the middle. Maybe not likely to get rewarded, but I don't really think they can do that much with that information. On top of that, Fnatic have the Bounty Hunter constantly scouting out for them.
I'll at least know when Fnatic fall back over the river.
They want to time a fight with the Aegis expiration. It's going to be about 5 seconds away. So now Alliance have the green light. Jump in.
But where's your target? The Observer Ward scouts out Ohio moving north, but EGM's the only one near him.
So I think they have to do something before the next round. Be a really important for them, but yeah, I think Fnatic are more than willing to take a fight. Up until then, they're like, okay, well, they're stronger than us right now. They have the Drow, but I think Drow is already kind of peaking relative to the Sven, when Sven is like 50%.
Speaking of which, Storm Spirit looks like he's... Okay, if Loda stayed there just a little bit longer, he probably would have just gone for the straight jump. Loda does have the Hurricane Pike up now. So he's got some extra things to work with from Alliance's high ground defense, and this isn't an unusual position for Alliance, being a long way behind. 8,500 in the net worth, over 10,000 experience behind too. A very slow game, but a very patient game. You just have to pick the right opportunity.
Be really worried for the Drow Ranger.
Oh, hold on.
Radiant's
Hello.
middle tower is under
He
attack.
really meant to blink into Fnatic just then.
I think your worst nightmare going, like, as a Drow Ranger going to late game is like a super high armor hero going into you. We've seen TNC constantly draft the Axe versus the Drow Ranger, and Sven is a similar hero in that he just has tons of physical mitigation and will just run at you, disable the marksmanship, and just cleave you down. And you
Radiant's
just don't have
bottom
that much
tower
other
is under
Drow
attack.
Ranger in a later game. Yes, there's not really that many items that can help you out.
3-4-3. Arrow's going to be off target. You still got mid-one in the neighborhood. They want to commit for this. It would take a lot from Alliance. Like, we're talking Ravage to even get a kill here. 3-4-3. Oh, the double starfall. You have to respect that magical burst damage that comes from the Mirana Ags.
I think it might be worth it for Alliance to invest in a gem at this time, so they can actually take fights with a Ravage and maybe catch Fnatic off guard.
The GM was dead. So dead. Mid-one and Mushi just destroyed him on the bottom lane. S4 jump forward, and Mushi triggers the BKB. No leap of S4 thanks to the Orchid, and Mushi with the TP out. The protection of that magic community.
Work with 10 seconds BKB. Kill, maybe on T3, and 3 or 4 TPs that looked like coming out from Alliance, and now they're kind of cornering their base. Supports can't defend against these waves, they can't defend the lanes. That means you need a course to do so, which means you can really push out and take objectives, and I think they'll just constantly instill that fear onto Alliance. They have to huddle around their base, Roach is open to them, and then they have to be even more scared because Storm Spear is
Actually managed to hit an arrow on Ohio. A good 5 second stun. He was just farming, but he was farming underneath the Radiant Observer Ward of Alliance. It's pickoffs like this which will give Alliance some breathing room and good time to have it. Roshan could potentially be up. But I can't just slip over. It's a 40-second respawn, so Slaughter will be up in time. But Alliance already smoking up themselves. They move out. There's a sentry ward down. The bounty is not in range of this. They have no idea what's going on.
Bounty Hunter scouted out. Pop, Tidehunter smoke.
Oh, they trigger dust. They know he's in the tree line. The Weave will give the vision. So 3-4-3. Out of Titan. Once again, EGM will find the kill. That's his third for the game.
And the worst target for the smoke gank to pop on though. And he even got an observer ward, so he has 2 observer wards down to the left
Dyer's
side, so
top
they can see
tower is
exactly
under
where they go.
attack.
Take anything at this point of the game, though. And you're still getting a lot of money into Mirana, as well as Dro. The fact that S4 almost has the same net worth as the Storm Spirit, pretty impressive considering the state of the game.
So we picked up a Yules. That's pretty good versus the Storm Spirit. You'll see Yules on 2 mid laners, I suppose, like Lina in particular, sometimes SF. What do you want to deal with the Storm Spirit back when they were really popular Alliance? Blowing a second smoke at this moment. They have the Ravage, and then they have all 5 heroes. This could be the time to draw, but Mushi
Shadows
is the one to watch.
Moonlight Shadow, 3-4-3 is going to break the smoke. The Moonlight Shadow still keeps them in biz. Not sure if Fnatic really saw it or not.
They're going to try and blow up Mushi? I don't know if they have enough damage to do it before he BKB.
Especially when S4's not there and Mushi just blinks into the tree line. Does have a TP scroll available, hasn't used it yet. The Spirit searching for Mushi in the trees, but it's so close but so far away. Mushi's TP all the way home while Fnatic actually 4-man smoke. The smoke will be broken by S4.
Zip zap.
Who gets tracked.
TP was a little bit too far back. I think I would have preferred like a TP back to the T3 so they can re-engage very quickly, but now Fnatic, they wait to sell to their own, trying to catch Alliance and flank them from behind.
It's so hard for Alliance to really catch up to anyone from Fnatic. They got so much money, even DJ having this Blink Dagger. There's too much maneuverability on Fnatic. They got 3 Blink Daggers to work with. Then the Invis as well. And the Ball Lightning.
Mirana's farm though, I think she can easily get a pick up by herself with the Yules. Maybe not on the Sven, but anyone else I think is quite vulnerable.
Loda's gonna be a lot happier too once he gets that ultimate orb. Having the Mana style, breaking free of the Orchid silence with Storm Spirit.
Spell amp.
Yep. All pretty good. Warlock's currently killing a traitor inside the pit, but he'll have to move over. Mushi hit by an arrow. Dual scepter up. That's S4. Trying to prepare for another jump. They go for Mushi. BKB triggered. Ball lightning mid one. Trying to come in to help out his ball with a jump. Mushi walking away. The Ravage him in mid one. The damage to Mona. Suicide will happen. The Alliance don't get the kill, but at least they put the Storm Spear on the sidelines. EJ's not out of the woods just yet. S4 rotating over, gonna find 3-4-3. The first starfall into the second one. They've lost the vision on 3-4-3. And with a blink dagger, TJ got far enough into the mid lane trees to TP himself away to safety. So again, Alliance robbed of any kills thanks to Bloodstone denied. But we'll be thinking about Roshan.
They don't have Ravage for this. That was pretty good for them. They had gotten Bushi there. Ooh. Highest net worth hero in the game, but not really able to contribute too much to the team fight. Not expecting the magical burst from Piranha. Almost caught off guard, feeling nigh invulnerable with BKB.
Fnatic are coming.
I think they can just go inside the road pit. How are they going to deal with the Elder Titan Spirit, though?
Oh, did EGM notice that? Yeah, he did. The Spirit actually clipped Mushi while it's still under the cover of smoke.
But you still have to fight without Ravage if you want to take a fight here. Ideally, you want to stall with the Elder Titan stuff, but he just used it. There's no Spirit there.
Well, that arrow actually helping Fnatic. A 4-5 second stun on Roshan with the amplification. Alliance now they're going to try Shadow Weapon and he goes straight into the mix. Mushi will try and cut it. He only finds an illusion. Falls for it in pretty deep, but he'll find his target. And the roaming EGM pulling back the other Titan. Increased by a little bit more light. This one, the ABC model will trigger. EGM hold in position. ET splitter. Well, Fnatic just waited all out, and then EGM will fall. They look for more. The stun on Arcade. The extra strike will go to work. Mushi does get hit by an arrow. He can't help out. The mid one. The long jump in. You'll cover up with a gust and keeps mid one control into the tier 2. Bodo will get a revenge kill, and that's a big one to take a dominating streak ended.
See some excellent gusts from Crowd Rangers recently. Nice run there. Get the kill on mid one. Will not be Bloodstone tonight, so a lot of gold going the way of Alliance. And that was pretty good considering they didn't have Ravage that entire fight. They did a really good job of limiting Storm Spirit's damage during that. Also, Sven, he didn't have detection. He went on the illusions because that was the only thing that he could see, and he kind of got kited during his entire BKB duration. Now it's slowly starting to tick down. It's already 7 seconds down for Luigi.
Don't have this timer running out too early, but he is starting to rack up more damage. Has the Daedalus recipe, but doesn't have the team edge at the moment.
The prize is mine.
We're going to get to a point where Alliance, if they do get caught out by the Ven, it's only going to take one swing and Mushi's going to kill them all. And that's just because he's got so much money, so much net worth, almost 19,000 on Mushi.
Like he's going Daedalus even, so it doesn't even want to tank up. I think, like, I kind of like Fear's build yesterday where he went for like Blink APB AC and BKB optional, depends on what kind of defensive support that you have. But I think the AC is like really, really good for Sublime. You're going to be kited because there's Grave, there's the Heals, and all these other spells. BKB's range is getting kind of low, so you can still help your team out with the aura. You don't know how many swings you're going to get off. And he also doesn't have an Echo Saber, which I think is really where the build shines.
That's the thing Alliance had just done. They planted an Observer Ward and Sentry Ward at the top river. This will allow them to know when Fnatic is coming to gank S4, who with BTs and that high movement speed, thanks to Dual Scepter and the maneuverability of Blink Dagger, you can just keep that split push going on top. Problem is, he hasn't seen any of Fnatic in a while, so he's very concerned they're just waiting somewhere.
As you mentioned earlier, Alliance are kind of used to being in this position where they're down but not out, and gonna have to rely on normal tactics to do this late game. GOC on Rana, good way to start split pushing. Draw Ranger, not the best at split pushing. It's not a Terrorblade, it's not an Anti-Mage, it's not a Naga Siren.
Out of my way!
Probably would have favored at this point in the game, but he stuck with what he has, and
Lions, 4-man smoke move. They're going to come up through the river.
they have BKB on Ohio.
Their Observer Ward and Sentry is going to scan out 3-4-3 in a bit, but the Moonlight Shadow, the smoke broke as well. So Bounty Hunter scouts out what's going on, and Fnatic, they're getting out of here. They do not want to give Alliance a fight again. But at least Alliance for lane positioning where it is, and Ravage up. It can do what they were meant to do all along. 5-man maneuver, push to a tier 2.
But BKB ready for 2 of them. Elder Titan Spirit comes out and is going to hit on the Smoke Heroes.
Again,
Dire's
Bulldog.
top tower
And
is under
confirmed.
attack.
3-4-3. It was the raid. It's the central war. It's up there with a jump forward. Florida. That's really going to smash back all the Fnatic. But you also got Rangers and damage was spent just way too much. The Ravage can buy a little bit of space
Dire's
here.
middle
Also helps them to get
tower
the
is
kill
under
over
attack.
on that Storm Spirit. Take the TP down. Not possible. Mushi has not available. Even a higher crushing for good measure.
Oh my god, that Bro Ring just got obliterated. She had
Dire's
amplified
middle
damage that got
tower
hit
is
by
under
the split
attack.
hurt, and there was no time to grave, no time to really do anything there. Tidehunter maybe could have ravaged, but that's not going to help versus the BKBs. The tough fight for Alliance. At least they didn't have a gem there. Would have been really disastrous. At least they put one up on DJ at that point, but
Dire's bottom
just
tower is
not
under
geared
attack.
for 5-on-5 at this point.
Also a bad sign when Fnatic it could be willing to push even harder. There should be the tier 2 tower at least down the mid lane because there's no Ravage for 97 seconds. Every time this thing is off cooldown, Fnatic will be more and more confident to fight. Even with the BKBs already up, they already feel confident enough when the Ravage is there.
They need a way to pop the BKBs without being ravaged. Because Fnatic, they're not really scared. The one time that we did see the BKB cores scared was when Mushi got jumped on that bottom side. And I think they need to do that again. I think the Mirana may need to go for a very heavy build, like an EB. You just like leap in, you use your EB, double starfall combo, and then you can disengage. Saw that like old chicken. But you want them to like, oh crap, I have the BKB right now, or I'm gonna die. They do have like a defensive disruption, but you always want to make them panic, and then once the BKBs are down, Ravage. And right now, it seems like Fnatic are actually forcing the Ravages out of the Tidehunter instead. So that it's an easy for the team fights.
But that's been the way this whole game's been going. Is Fnatic forcing any reaction they want out of Alliance, and always denying Alliance what they want. Big group up and team fight, at least with a vision advantage. The fact that Bounty, he can sacrifice himself all he wants. 3-4-3, hasn't got a single kill, he's got 7 assists, all about getting the track up, 4 deaths to his name, but he's that walking reveal board that Alliance just can't do anything about. Wouldn't have been happy to the fact that EGM with that smoke break on him, or the Moonlight Shadow break on him. Way it did. But they're coming again. Alliance will group up.
This time, Fnatic have another BKB, this time on the Storm Spirit, so this fight could potentially even go worse than last time.
Unless they can find the jump. But with a dire sentry ward on the hill, Alliance can't get really good vision here. That's why they put their Observer and Sentry up in the lane and a little bit further down, more shallower in Fnatic's jungle. But they can't find the opening, there's no real way they can go, so they fall back. Loda needs to farm 50 he's probably about 1,000 gold away from that. They give him the bottom lane to do so.
I think even with the BKB though, he's just gonna, like, what's the BKB gonna do versus Sven? Then we'll just right-click you, and even if you force step away, you can still get cleaved if someone's out in front, or if you have Manta illusions, which will actually likely happen in the team fight. Fnatic trying to smoke the long way around. Roshan not available to them for at least.
They're coming for Loda. Loda is right on top of that dire Observer Ward, plus he's farming the creep wave. That is one very, very dead throw. With a blink crush, Bin 1 goes in. And that is a full minute on the sidelines because he bought his overclock before he died. The arrow will keep Mushi away, perfectly hit from S4. And now it's up to Alliance to keep Fnatic out. They have 1 minute without Loda.
Well, Apple's God's Transformation at least is going to come to them, and Loda did manage to buy an Ogre Club. That means he won't have buyback, and they're going to have to hold this.
Radiant's bottom tower
Mushi keeps
is under
going.
attack.
The arrow, this is once again Blink Crush, and 4 caught out. He doesn't have his leap available. However, send him up towards the end. He's
Radiant's
sort of keeping
bottom
a high
barracks
around the
are under
fight.
attack.
He hits the ground from the Yules, a quick blink out. Fortification is still available for Alliance and Fnatic.
Dire's
Not going to
middle
go for any more.
tower
The
is under attack.
BKB is on cooldown for the Storm Spirit. Mushi is going to force him into.
They just want to be able to play it safe, pick out the road, give the cheese to Storm. If he has Aegis cheese, he can just go absolutely crazy in this fight. Again, 2.5 minute respawn. So a little bit of time for Alliance to find out how they want to defend the pit, maybe de-ward their side of the jungle.
This is now that time for the gem. That time for the vision.
I think they needed it a while ago, but the problem is no one's really getting any farm. Elder Titan, one for the solo crest to try and help protect the Drow Ranger. Dazzle has just been buying wards non-stop. It had to be one. It would have to be like Murad or something like that. Would buy the gem. Maybe it's Tidehunter. Tidehunter is 1100, so I think it's that time. You're getting close to that point where one more fight and you're gonna go into that like point of no return.
At the same time, like, you know what's in Bulldog's mind is the way Bulldog plays. He's thinking, I need a refresher orb. If I have my double ravage, those BKBs go down to 5 seconds, I got a chance that the fights can actually go the way of Alliance with that big AoE double stun time. And then the control, S4 spends his money, he buys
Radiant's
Shiva's
middle
card
tower
on
is
this
under
Mirana.
attack.
Into 3 melees. To help try and keep him away from this event once that BKB wears off.
They need some way to deal with the BKBs instead of going for offense. He will go for the defense.
Radiant's
survive.
middle tower is
Try and
under
fight
attack.
another day. Roshan's up in 1 minute.
Monitor huddle in their base though. They've blown a lot of smokes in the last 10 minutes, so I don't think they have another one available to them. Doesn't look like they have any on stock. I don't see any on chicken, none in the stash. So I don't know how they're gonna try and take this next fight. What's the best angle of approach for them?
You do still have Moonlight Shadow, but then there's all stands essentially down to Fnatic inside the Radiant jungle. That also helps. Keep getting their lanes pushed in. Fnatic go back to what they started the game with. They just keep pushing in the top, they keep pushing in the bottom.
Oh,
and they got so much
on his
money.
own creep. Oh, Roach.
Radiant's top tower
There's an
is under
Aghanim Scepter
attack.
on the Shadow Demon now.
Wow.
Yeah, we thought the SD had a decent amount of farm before. Full Ags, Ohio, king his lips and not just the side of Loader on the bot lane.
How's he almost as farmed as Bulldog?
Good question.
Radiant's
he has
top
been the deep push
tower
for
is
Fnatic
under
early
attack.
on. Like those high levels up in Poison, he was mopping up the creep waves all the time.
Yeah, Roshan respawned. Satyr Banisher will get wind of it. Fnatic can start thinking about making their way there after they push out the course.
Our Alliance? Okay.
Radiant's middle
Well,
tower
S4
is
gets
under
rid of that
attack.
setup.
They can really easily scout with Illusions though, or Storm Spirit, so I don't really think Fnatic are that worried about them sneaking it. They can try.
Well, Alliance are in there, and right now Fnatic has made no movement over. Mid one is in the neighborhood. Okay, now they're making a better move. Roshan down the half line. Even starting to kick up for Alliance. They got a lot of armor to work with. That's the
Radiant's
drop the
middle
Aquila
tower is
in
under
preparation. The EG split up. You want to jump in the front. Just kill that side of Bounty Hunter. He picked up the edge of the ball. Alliance tries to sneak in. They're going to pay the price for it. Mid one's on. It's still upgrade. They'll keep that 4 alive a little bit longer. The mid one is there, waiting arm. Will even find him, though, into the tree line. Baran will TP out. Unfortunately for the rest of Alliance, they will not have that option. Loader as well as Bulldog drop. Bushi chases to the ends of the Earth Arcade. And they move over to EGM, who's just trying to man fight against DJ. And there is no way to fight to win that fight. Alliance getting crushed in the pit. Fnatic, they arrived late to the party. If that split it was just a fraction of a second later as well, it could have been huge for him.
Yeah, it was almost perfectly timed by EGM, but Fnatic 3 in the pit, 2 BKBs, and they got the Aegis kill, or they got the
Radiant's
Roach kill, they got the
bottom
Aegis,
barracks are under
and
attack.
Bulldog was not able to get Ravage off that fight. Not like it would have mattered too much because of the BKBs. And
Radiant's middle tower
Bushi was
has
just on
fallen.
top of Loader the entire
Radiant's
time.
bottom barracks are under
No space for the
attack.
drone. She'll buy back.
Radiant structure
Fortification will slow down the raxing. And caught out by Storm Spirit. A perfect jump from mid one. It's a nice dust from Loader. Maybe he can get a revenge of the 3-4-3, but DJ is there. The waiting disruption
Radiant's
arms.
bottom barracks
Full
has fallen.
3-4-3 out the firing line. Fnatic will finish the job. They bring down the melee. And now Bulldog comes the front lines. They're in that BKB over mid one as well as the G. So all this damage can be repaired. And he'll use his BKB instead. And a 7 seconds on that one. And Alliance sort of clean up the bottom. Cost them then the buyback on the draw. They did not want to have to do that.
Still very long time left on Piranha's respawn. And I mean, most of this game, though, they just have not been able to fight effectively as 5. Like, Fnatic aren't really worried about fighting into them because Alliance, they weren't able to push super hard in the early game. They weren't able to secure many objectives. They weren't able to control the Ancients that allowed Sven to propel himself to this same network.
Hello.
It's Alxfen.
It's a refresher of Mushi. Ben will now have double 5-second BKBs and double God Strength, depending on what he wants to drop, unless he gets his own dedicated courier.
The region's also very useful. They, like, near the end of the last fight, he had like 180 mana, which is just not enough
fortune.
to keep going. They don't really have many ways to... I guess, is he gonna drop something? Maybe HOD? What, he has Moonshark and Refresher?
Yep. Guy's got a lot of money. She's actually going at just shy of 800 gold per minute.
Dang. You want him to like kind of be forced into these like questionable results. Like, do you really want to get he's good versus Drow, not good versus anyone else? And
He'll get whatever.
yeah, he's not really worried.
The guy's a superstar. He's got all the money in the world.
His own personal armory.
Doesn't use that standard blacksmith that everyone else uses.
Oh. Shop is for plebs.
Bottom lane, hello, Fnatic. They're looking for Alliance. Alliance aren't even in their base. They know it's not safe. And hang on, are they okay? DJ is attempting. Now. He's attempting the moon play. They'll wait in the tree lines, but that one range creep, it'll come down. It reveals. It reveals Alliance.
Radiant's
Having to
bottom
reveal
barracks
Fnatic.
are under
Can't
attack.
bring down the range direct
Radiant's
anyway, so
bottom
Alliance,
respond.
in a way, they dodged the fight. But they have everybody up.
They were able to plop a sentry or an observer ward down too, and it's not in the normal spot. It's much further south, and it will dodge the normal sentry ward. They do have the gem on the ET. You know, they won't have free jump inside of the base available to them.
That was the one advantage of EGM. He bought that gem just before the Roshan fight, so technically didn't lose that much money in the Roshan.
So the Lions have been in this position where they've been down a lot, but you know who's also been in this position is Mushi, where he's just like overflowing with gold. He's made him gold. He spits out gold, and what does he spend it on? He can't pull X. He can't BOT2. It's marginal. He's already had to sell his treads, which is
Maybe he
a little
could
bit of
actually
lost
start
gold
buying wards for the supports. That would be a very nice thing.
there. That's what you do. Ward
Jump in, they down that form. Go higher with a perfect blink crush, and form. He doesn't have enough time to live. And now it's actually moving on the Bulldogs. Amplification, Ohio was thinking about it. At 73 seconds, that S4, he does have buyback available once again. You really do not want to be expending your money when you're already well broke. Oda's going to spend his cash, picks up a Maelstrom. Probably praying he can reach an Magnum Scepter sometime soon. But it's good deep push for now. Bulldog jumps forward. Nice gust. Mushi down a half line. Defensive drops it again from DJ. Always there when he's got that blink dagger. Mushi. Wow, she's still very, very low. Stamp him away. Maybe this is also one of the reasons why he doesn't drop that Helm of the Dominator. Still needs that sustain in the fight.
Yeah, Titanic or Heart would be pretty good for it. You could just BOT back and then refresh and then BOT back if they really wanted to fight, but there's no need in taking that risk. Actually, Mirana's down. I don't think it'd be the worst thing in the world for them to do that, but...
It's a good display though to show that Fnatic is really as tanky as you might expect. When they get their jumps, when they get their pickups on Alliance, it works beautifully. But if Mushi takes that much damage from pretty much just the True Ranger primarily attacking him.
It normally won't happen like that, though. The Slaughter is carrying a lot of auras. We recently purchased the Vlad and AC. So combine that with Warcry, and you're not really doing anything. You need the Mirana to deal damage. A little threatening in case Fnatic aren't really exact with their high ground push.
Positioning has to be good. You can't just leave one guy on the front line to do all the work.
You can't just A-click and take your hands off the keyboard. It's like, look guys, no hands.
Imagine that. He would have been that kid on the bike. Bloodthorn for mid one. So he's got a lot more solid pickup capacity. He's right underneath an Observer and Sentry. Will not survive as TJ moves in with a gem. But Alliance at least get to see that Bloodthorn before the fight begins. There's some decent Dispel. Don't have that Dream like quick Lotus Orb available. It's coming from Tide. It's the Refresher Tide on the way. Or just buys the Perseverance for now.
Still a long ways away.
This is Alliance, the team of patience. Still only down 1 lane of racks. They're fine with that. This lineup, if you can get an active step through as well onto the throw ranger, you'll have a lot of options as far as arrow. Don't really miss.
I really like item level supports though, especially Dazzle. You'd want like a Ghost Scepter at the point, big Glimmer, late Ags, point in the game. And same with Elder Titan. He has Soul right now, but pretty much any item would be great for him.
Concern when Bulldog moves out this far. He disrupted before. It's like he's trying to bait the attack from Fnatic. But still at least protect Loda. As well as S4 if he does get initiated on.
Yeah, maybe they can like force a lot of BKBs when they initiate faster and then you can buy back and feed back in with Ravage. That is a pretty good way for them to win the fight. Fnatic have to know that. Gained a lot of gold. Roshan respawning in 30. Fnatic, no creep inside Roshan pit this time. Probably sensing that it's a white.
He jumps in at the same time, Muji has the team recount. Bit will make the play for Rate. They'll find the kill, no buyback available. Loda pushing back Mushi. He's in deep under the tier 4 towers. Maybe they'll have the damage. Mushi dropping quickly. He'll BKB, but they get the kill. 3-4-3. Also going to fall. It's the Soldier who's already out. They find more kills. Jules and us. DJ trying to keep Alliance away with that third EGM. And Fnatic, they were so patient. They were waiting for the opportunity. But they go in deep and they lose 3. And what a time too, because Roshan is back up again. Alliance can move over and technically force the buybacks as Ohio scouts out the fact that Big Man is alive.
Alliance won TI3 off the back of a lot of 4-staff plays, and that was a very similar situation. They double 4-staff the Drow Ranger, and Sven was like pretty close at a T4s.
He almost hit down at that rate.
Yeah.
S4 got over 2,000 gold just from the kills. He's now up to 6k on the Mirana.
Oh, they were going to play it safe.
I think that's actually the most amount of money I've seen so far in TI for a killing spree. It was 1,640 gold for killing off Mushi underneath that tier 4.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, Midland's trying to go for these kills. Well, he's already found one over the weekend. Poor Arge is just the scratching post of Fnatic.
That one not just the Alliance from taking down Big Bad Roshan. Solar Crest already upon him.
Hyatt is in a good position for a 4-man crush if he wants it. He knows they're in there. It comes to one to the drive to the silence of being there. Admiral Bulldog, he's already extended the Ravage before, so you've lost 1. Loda can't really fight this. Hurricane Pike was himself on the hillside, however. He can't get back down again, so he'll have to TP back to base. And then
Invisibility.
very close. That was the kill Alliance could not afford.
Dire's middle
But,
tower is under
yes,
attack.
now the real place. Fnatic will have Roshan.
Roshan has
Now back
fallen
out
to
to
the
the
ground.
advantage of stealing the gem off
Dire's
Fnatic.
middle tower has fallen.
Very small advantage at this point.
At least he didn't lose any cores. Tidehunter died in that big engagement inside the base and did have to buy back, so he won't have refresher for this upcoming engagement. And all they really need to do is wait for them to go on to Mushi. Mushi just needs to hit towers. If they go on him, he just pops Warcry.
This courier, this is one perilous trip. The Observer Ward scouted out its movement. I'm fairly certain it's here for the point booster. Actually finishes a full E-Blade for Mirana. This courier has to get home.
Storm King, easy.
Yeah.
Jump it.
And 343 is also waiting for it. He'll move, he'll blink. Oh, so close. Now the Storm jump in the courier. 4.7k worth of net worth.
So much for that Sven kill.
You'll have to wait 3 minutes before he can get that E-Blade. That also means he does still have buyback, so it doesn't put that in any kind of peril. I was wondering if Loda was going to complete up the Agnum Scepter, if you put a point booster on that courier as well. Instead, I'm seeing a Crystallis purchase on Loda. Still has buyback, doesn't have the full axe, which would have been really nice with the Maelstrom combo, but he's going a Deadless build on this Drow Ranger.
He's just trying to get any sort of items he can before this last fight. This might be like the last fight of the game, and you want every little bit of network that you have outside of buyback to be invested onto your hero. And network graphics is looking pretty bad, but Mushi is banking 8,500 gold.
Yeah. Have we even seen him use that refresh drop even once? No. It's sat in his stats. It's almost like he's just buying home blink. Bulldog.
Radiant's middle tower
Ken on the
is under
front line,
attack.
getting strength up. Mushi gonna God strength hit the tower. Sorry, just
Radiant
Warcry hit the
structures
tower.
are
Fortification will also be burnt from Alliance. They're being pressured on the other lane, so S4 needs to deal with this mid. The bottom lane is still with the mega creeps. Alliance have to turn their attention down there every now and then, but they don't want to turn away from this top fight. Ravage has just come up for Admiral Bulldog. They still have buyback available for Mirana as well as the first damage is there. Bulldog, great play from Lane. Yes, however, will it be enough? The high might be low. This one, he's going in deep. Hunter team on towers. Moonlight trying to make it very difficult. By the time the Ravage! The big heavy shot protector. Hit bubble drop as well. So low, but not dead. At the end is immortal. Now that's Bringer. Nucci gets fired away with a fairly Bulldog! They will smash him twice with an anchor. EGM will be protected. Alliance, they're holding this fight. Ohio is low. They force up down. Mona pushes himself into the fight. He wants to go against Mid One. S4's here to help him. They've got the damage. The Mid One's got the range. Jumping in Mona. He'll jump in Mona. Where's he go next? He goes in deeper. He goes for the Star Ball. Mid One's still alive, but not much longer with the stun of the S4. He'll die with the help of DJ. The double buybacks are available for Alliance. They knew this. They still have to hold the bottom tier 4 towers are being attacked. The refresher orb is now on for Bulldog. He's already triggered it, and he leaves it at base. He doesn't reveal it. So maybe now Fnatic could go in thinking there is no Ravage available. And it looks like Fnatic, they've been cautious throughout the day. They're going to be cautious again.
Then actually
Radiant's
used his
top
buyback
barracks
during
are
that
under
fight.
attack.
Finally used the pressure DOT back in, but he doesn't have buyback. That's probably what dissuaded him more than anything. Storm Theater was a little bit low, but he has plenty of Bloodstone charges. And he's also banking a lot of gold. 6,000 in Storm's inventory. What will be item number 6?
For a Storm Spirit, he can finally drop that gem. Yes, Scythe would be nice. Still want to see Loda finish up an item and finally see Mirana with that E-Blade. The courier is back alive. You have to keep that in mind. S4 had all that money spent, but he didn't actually have the item on him. If there was an E-Blade in that fight, it would have been very, very different.
As Fenn's dying very, very easy. I actually think he should keep the refresher on him so he can BKB twice and Warcry, right?
What do you drop? You really want to get away with the like? You
That's
can't
a
drop.
fly.
Yeah, that'll be good.
He needs to play like a Life Stealer. The Life Stealer, you siege your tower with your range line. I think he needs to do the same thing with Warcry and then just back out. They're having to blow way too many cooldowns to save him. Like DJ almost got him out of the situation. He he got force stepped out, and then he disrupted, and then he was able to blink after that, and he almost got the BOT out. But you don't want your spent to be in that position where you actually have to save him.
Okay, how does DJ have this much money? He's now going to BKB on the Shadow Demon. It's coming on the courier. This is, like, if you've got DJ in your fantasy team at the moment, congratulations, you're going to have crap tons of points. Even though the highest points right now does go the way of Mushi.
So out of the 10 heroes in the game, there's only one with buyback. That is Mid One.
Everyone else expends their money. They know they need to fight. Alliance is very happy with this. If they keep Fnatic out for another minute, they have double Ravage. The refresher orb is off cooldown in 57 seconds time.
I'm actually surprised Storm Theater doesn't have more charges. I guess there haven't been that many kills in this game, but ideally you have 25 charges, maybe 26, and then you...
He got the early charges and had to commit suicide, then he got killed, and after that everything was dried up.
But, like, now Storm's in this, like, somewhat weird position with the fights where if you die, you can be back up in, see, like, 35, 40 seconds, but you want to fight there with the team instantly. You can potentially win the game if you buy back, but you could also potentially lose the game if you buy back, go to you, and your team's already dead. Not a great situation.
We're in this point now. It's disrupting spent illusions to attack a range racks down.
Your secret lives on.
I think this is also something Alliance had a lot of experience with in the past.
And they're normally the ones doing it.
Yes, they are. It's the same thing. They don't actually have easy ways to get rid of these illusions. It takes so much when you actually wish you had that active scepter on Loda.
Well, time to start on another tower that will... Is Alliance really...
thought for a moment that actually there was a Fnatic line being drawn by mid one, saying, can we move around and go in through the mid?
The refresher's cooled down at this point, and Smeth's been really squishy. If they can catch him in a double Ravage without his war cry, and potentially like DJ doesn't BKB, maybe, but that's a lot of contingencies.
Yeah, that's a lot of babies. And they also have no vision to do this fight with. Like, the
Radiant's
observers and
middle
sentries
tower
on the
is
top
under
lane are
attack.
very,
They have the reward
high
right here,
Fnatic.
right outside their TC on top. This one can potentially be a game-winning observer reward if they can catch multiple heroes with that. And DJ, well, actually, who's carrying them? Stormspear hasn't really been close enough to de-ward that quite yet. They have a sentry ward on the north side, but it's just outside the range of this off. So they probably think they're in the clear instead of not having vision. But it's daytime, so you're likely to play more carefully during the daytime. You expect the opponent to be able to see across the cliff. Nighttime, I think, is where Alliance can make a move, but that's still quite some time.
It's still crazy to think that Alliance are keeping this fade. They're almost 40,000 net worth behind, and they are still keeping Fnatic out. Most of that net worth, in fact, different is Sven's net worth. He's at 40 grand himself.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
He has a lot of like marginal upgrades for items, but like he's like 4,500 gold. That doesn't really give you any combat potency. And then he has a refresher in base, not really offering that much to him. Moon shard, not super effective. It's good because of effectiveness for gold spend.
They really need more damage against those Sven illusions. they just keep coming, and bit by bit, that melee rank, at least it can regen. But can we commit double Starfall to it? It's still not enough damage. Loda doesn't have his full Daedalus up, so his damage also isn't that great.
Probably regrets not getting axe now. Because he was in that position where like, okay, I might lose the game right now. I have 2,000 extra gold. I need to buy an item.
Does he go back to it? Like, do you actually sell the Crystallis and then buy the full Aghanim? Oh, bottom lane, they actually find Ohio. The arrow visits from S4. Big one! He's got hit! That's 10 arcades! The punching bag of Fnatic gets brought down again.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
They look for an opening. Okay, BKB is triggered. It's Mushi on the run. S4 right behind him. The Stormbolt will go to work. As mid one pokes the tier 3 tower in the mid. And again, Ohio on the bottom lane. Dead by 1,000 needles. Lions just don't know how to start pulling them out.
At least Mushi's playing it a little safer. Like, you could have potentially gotten EB'd and Shivas and like double Starfall before the BKB. Then EB at like half HP at the time when they getting up. But now he's like preventing himself from getting critical HP territory.
And Alliance have to at some point come out here and try and fight this.
Yeah.
Like, if this continues the way it is, like, Fnatic will eventually take everything. They've already taken the melee racks on the top. It's only the mid that's down between Fnatic and Mega Creeps.
How do you protect Ake though? Ake just dies.
There is no way to protect him. So you actually just have to let him die. Force the fight with Fnatic. That's a little bit more. Mid one now looks towards Admiral Bulldog. He's still giving respect. Admiral Bulldog does have double Ravage up. Mushi, he's down. Admiral Bulldog jumps in. The first Ravage will trigger. They need to kill off Mushi. Defending the from DJ. Not doing it right. Oh, he can take the Hurricane Pike. Punching mid one away for long enough. Where is the kill? Has it come? Refresh from his stuff by 500. Full touch back in again. The poison almost killing Bulldog. Barely surviving with the refresher into a second grief. Bulldog keeps himself up. But now they don't have double Ravage for 180 seconds.
I feel like Mushi could be
Radiant's
so much
turret
more in these
has been
fights too.
Oh, Radiant's Fury down again. It had Lotus Mjolnir. It got killed as it entered in through that top lane.
Mushi like needed to BKB the Ravage, and Shadow Demon was able to do it. Your supporter can BKB it, and luckily he was able to get the disruption onto the Sven.
Oh, one way to complete the to stay alive. They're actually trying to decide who takes this one.
Mine.
He'll be the man to take the Aegis to the Immortal. There's no Bloodstone's enough, but it means that Gem's just sitting on the deck. 3/4 people have to carry that.
They could just pass Storm Spirit the cheese afterward. Still no Scythe on him, but he does plenty of damage enough to kill Ake near instantaneously. It also has afforded the Ghost Scepter though, so maybe they can kill the Storm Spirit as it jumps in, because you don't want to use your BKB for a dazzle kill. Like, but they only have one Ravage left on Tidehunter. One won't be up for a couple of minutes.
I still can't believe Mushi is walking around. Oh, yes, why? Refresh all minutes that. He's also a very long way away from the rest of his team. As mid one, it's going to couple a little bit of a starfall damage.
Like, they could easily buy another chicken at this point.
Yeah.
Another gem. He just stashes much.
Okay, he's buying Butterfly. He's going down and buying Butterfly. So that's what he replaces SNY with.
Butterfly's great. Also, just use a move speed if you still want that for whatever reason.
It's nice when Loda also cannot buy a Monkey King bar in this game. Once it's time for the money.
That's why you hold a deep edge. You never know when it's going to be Rapier, or FKB, or Daedalus. I was playing.
Someone give Loda some true hit. No, they're just, and again, now it's actually helping. 10 more illusions in.
Oh yeah, the illusion with the...
Big one. He gets up to but not the ball. Doesn't go to try to jump the easy. Hit the ball though. He just pulls no buyback, but he has no Rapture Alliance. This could be it for Fnatic. The buyback can come out from S4. But you lose 2 heroes. Fnatic didn't really have to commit that heavily.
Oh my god, DJ with those demonic conversions. Onto the Tide Hunter, onto the Marana.
And now he goes over the Drone Ranger. Keep going to work, you got all the vision, thanks to Track. And Stormstroke, and another long kill, they find Loda. They got Heatwave, protecting him from S4, but Loda still so low. He can't rush his back out, the buyback will come in, but Alliance, they're being torn apart. There's almost nothing left for Fnatic. They have played this game now, they have hoarded the money. And finally, they can bring it down to Billy Rack, force them to the double crush for higher. They can feel the deal, and Alliance will lose all 3, and GG, Game 1 will go the way of a very patient Fnatic.
This strategy seemed like something that Alliance thought would work, but it doesn't really seem to suit their style. I think in particular, I don't know, it was just like their whole entire team. They could never really circle fights in the first 20 minutes of the game. I think that Mushi played pretty well for the first 20 minutes, and then the later half of the game was dominated by mid one and DJ. 3 for 3 also with some timely smoke pops.
3-4-3, like, he was, again, that kind of guy that takes it for the team. The Bounty Hunter does some work, but the SD, so much money on it. Like, normally say, hey, you might be in like a 4-core lineup that was attacking you from Fnatic with everything they had. Those disruption illusions kind of forced Alliance's hand into really bad